Spartans! What is your profession?
Yes, people, we are back from the first one, Mbappe versus Haaland. It was all nicey, two hot prospects coming into it. But now we're going to be talking about two legends of the game, two guys that have retired, so we can debate and we can go at it and we can say who was better. Because at the end of the day, football is all about comparisons and whatnot. And we had this debate in a group chat. It went 12 rounds and we didn't get a winner. So we thought we bring it to you lot and let you lot see what is going on. It is the real Ronaldo R9 versus Thierry Henry, who is the better striker, right?
I just want to add, the reason why it's heated is because I personally find it heated is because there are too many people that just claim Ronaldo is the best and leave it as that. When I believe Henry's got a greater claim.
Bruv, listen, we've already kicked off.
No,
now. Let's get into it.
I'm just saying.
The reason you believe this is because you're an Arsenal fan, bruv.
No,
right?
that's
That's
not
it.
true.
That's the only
That's
reason.
not true. That is far from the truth. You know that's fam. The reason I got into football was because of R9. Our generation, our first main striker that we saw, we were all doing step overs because of R9.
Yes.
You know,
step over onto the left foot, bro.
Exactly. I'm still in football here because of R9. So R9 is far from that. But I'm saying that too many people just claim R9 and that's it. And I'm not happy about that. You can't just be claiming R9 and be that's it. So, you know, I'm gonna give you guys food for thought.
Right.
Go on, then.
Truth. Kick it off. Why is Thierry and for people before we start, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget that. Make sure to do that because we're giving this to you here. Also, before I start, I am impartial. I'm going to let these two go out and I will jump in as and when it's necessary to throw out any questions, but you're not really going to hear much from me unless someone says something that doesn't make sense or I'm trying to challenge something. But Truth, state your claim. Both before you start, let's just say we love the both of them. Great strikers, great players, respected by all of us. It's just banter. There's no bloodshed needed at all, as much as it might get heated. But yeah, Truth, lay cards on the table. Why is Henry better than the real Ronaldo, R9?
First of all, it took R9 10 years to get rid of that nickname, Fat Ronaldo. So I don't know. No, I'm playing. Okay, so my argument comes from this. For a long time, I regarded Ronaldo as the greatest striker that we've ever seen. And then slowly, after looking back on Henry's career and analysing Henry's career, what I got to myself is that as a complete forward, especially in the modern day game, Henry had more attributes than Ronaldo, which made him, to me, a more complete player. And for me, you could put Henry again in any side, where Ronaldo would have to be the focal point. He's not a bad focal point, he's a great focal point because he will bang goals, but he will have to be that focal point. Henry, you can put in any side because think about it, R9 maybe in that Liverpool side, maybe not. Is he going to do the chasing round and the running round that other people will? But Henry definitely did it at that when he went to Barcelona. R9 never had to do that role, so I'm saying Henry had more attributes too.
Man, I can't believe I just heard that, bro. You can't put R9 in any team. What, bruv? Are you mental, bruv? Listen, my opinion is this. we would be talking about the GOAT of football if it wasn't for those knee injuries.
Let's get some rules. Let's get some rules. We are not going to talk about ifs. I am sorry. We are not going to talk about anything that's conjecture. Let's talk about what happened. We
Fine.
can't talk about ifs.
Well, let's talk about it then, bro. Fine. I'm just saying that was my opening statement, bro. You can't rule out. You cannot rule out the fact that if he did not have those knee injuries, yeah, he would have been the GOAT, bro. The GOAT of football. Forget Pele. Forget Maradona.
That's not what we're arguing, though.
No, I know, but I'm gonna get into it. Forget Messi. Forget Ronaldo, bro. Yeah. Ronaldo, when he first started, obviously in Brazil, he was killing it as a 16-year-old.
Cruzeiro.
Yeah, Cruzeiro, exactly. And he was 16, bruv, and he'd scored like 44 goals in 47 games, bruv. And that team won the title, bruv, single-handedly because of him. Name me another 16-year-old that done that in their domestic league, bruv. Not
That's
one.
true.
Henry didn't do that at
No.
Monaco. Do you know what I mean? He definitely didn't come close to doing that. And furthermore, speaking of Henry even said himself, one of his idols was R9.
Of course.
And he said he's one of the greatest footballers ever. So that just goes to show.
Again, we're not arguing that. We're not arguing any of that.
Yeah. But again, I listen, Henry is a great footballer. Great footballer. But definitely not O phenomenal, bro. I mean, I reckon, in my opinion, again, Ronaldo R9 was just the best striker, period, in football, just period. And we're talking about a lot of greats here, man. We're talking about Alan Shearer, Gabriel.
Oh my days.
Listen, bro, yeah, Alan Shearer all day, fam. Alan Shearer, Gabriel Batistuta, Marco van Basten. Do you get what I mean? Brilliant striker. Even the Pelés and players like that, man, that came before him. But again,
okay, fine. I think what we have to do, we have to put in parameters because at the moment we're talking on a broad scope.
Yeah. So let's talk about what we think makes one better than the other. Yeah. So for me, as far as ball control and skill, unquestionably, Ronaldo. The way my man got out of tight spaces, the way my man, bro, before the World Cup final in '98, Desai, there's that famous clip of Desai and Thuram talking. You remember?
I know.
Well, they were like, look, the ball is there. The moment you look, it's not there. The guy's a magician. The guy's literally a magician. And
they were talking about in training, innit?
Exactly.
They were talking about in training, yeah.
And they had played with him in Serie A. Well, not played with him, played against him. But they were both at Serie A. Thuram was at Parma and Desai was at Milan, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
they knew firsthand what my man was doing to defenders. And bearing in mind, this is at a time when football was much more defensive than it is now. You know, much more defensive than it is now. My man was just making defenders look like they belonged, you know, in fucking plumbing or becoming electricians. Do you know what I mean? He would take their souls, bruv. He was the Shang Tsung of football and what he was doing to defenders, man. And we could talk about pace, which I know you're going to get into with Henry, because Henry was the fastest player on the ball when he was at Arsenal in his prime years. I remember that stat. I remember he was doing like 100 meters in incredible time, and they recorded him. He's the fastest dribbler with the ball. But again, I know we grew up watching Ronaldo, but we grew up watching Ronaldo, let's say, at his Inter Real Madrid days. Yeah. Yeah. This is post patella rupture or kneecap injury.
Yeah.
If you go back on YouTube and watch what he was
PSV.
doing, PSV and
Barca.
Oh my God. TJ, tell me this guy didn't have bags of pace, bro.
He did.
Oh yeah, he did.
Pace-wise, there's not a lot between Henry and Ronaldo. I think on the ball, Ronaldo was a little bit quicker. on the ball in a straight race, running with big strides. Henry, I will put quicker because of his he was taller, he had a bigger stride and whatnot. But pace-wise, there's not much between them.
Yeah, absolutely. Acceleration, there was not much between them at all. I think the way they can, we were talking about this in the Mbappe video, the way that they could both change pace, like, you know, slow down and speed up and cut angles, there's not much between them. But I still give that to Ronaldo simply because the way he managed, like, bro, come on, we've all seen that viral video of what he did to Nesta in the final.
Imagine Nesta, you know, who was regarded as one of the best central defenders in. Look, he's regarded as one of the best all time, and that's one of the things that I got into. That cooking with Rash brought up, saying Ronaldo, who Ronaldo was playing against, and I'm forgetting. Are you forgetting he was playing against Maldini, Nesta, Costa Curta, and all them man there, man?
Before you jump in about that match against Nesta, do you know what that match was billed as? That match was billed as the best striker in the world versus the best defender in the world. And do you know what Nesta said after that game? Nesta said something like, bro, he completely embarrassed me. I wish I never played that game. It was the worst game of my life. Bro, there was no question of what Ronaldo was doing to the best defenders in the world. Again, Henry was doing the same, but I still give that to Ronaldo, man. There's no way. My man invented the elastico and triple step overs. The whole reason, like, all of his goals were going around the keeper. He was making fucking goalkeepers take a seat, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was making, bro, before all of this Black Lives Matter stuff, bruv, he was making goalkeepers take a knee, fam.
Oh no. No, 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 no. Oh no.
Do you get what I mean? He was making goalkeepers take a knee, bruv. So I'll give it to Ronaldo, man. But again, I like to hear your rebuttal on Henry, man, because as far as pace goes, this is again pre injury-prone Ronaldo, and we'll get into the injuries as well, man.
So as I said, you brought up attribute on the ball in close spaces, in tight spaces. You would give it to Ronaldo. I'm not going to shy away from that. Skill-wise,
come on.
Oh, there's no question.
Come on. And that's no disrespect to Henry, because we know Henry had skill, but come on. It's the Brazilian flair.
Okay,
man.
but okay, fine. But that's on the ball skill though. When we're talking about skill for goals,
yeah,
you know,
bro.
You're not gonna get a better highlight reel than Henry's skill on goals, fam.
Whoa! What are we talking about? Hold on.
You're talking about the chip against Man United back towards goal. Tell me a goal Ronaldo's gonna score like that, fam.
Are you mental, bro? What about his hat-trick against United in the Champions League, bro?
No, he's talking about skill.
Yeah, I'm talking about skill when it comes to these type of goals. That chip and flick, and when he scored that against United, I've not seen another goal like that in the league ever scored. That back heel against Charlton, it was.
That was a bit overrated, though. That back heel was a bit overrated.
Not when someone's climbing all over you and to generate that much power from hardly any backlifts. Come on.
Listen, that goal against United, I know which one, when he flicked it up and then he turned.
Those Bartes, yeah.
That was dirty. But listen, Ronaldo's catalogue, we can go in there and find plenty of goals, especially in his younger days, especially in his Inter days.
A lot of his goals was the playing off the shoulder or taking on 1-2 plays and banging. A lot of his goals were they weren't the wide range of goals.
Ronaldo was a complete bro. Ronaldo could do it.
A complete striker. We're not arguing that. We're arguing him versus Henry.
Yeah,
we're talking about two complete strikers here.
Bro, a lot of his goals involved him taking on the defender, doing a nutmeg, and then
I know.
Step overs, and then like, bro, again, Henry, other than that chip, other than the flick and the volley, like, I'll give him that. But
Henry's got loads of goals running through there. The goal against Tottenham, the goal against Liverpool, running from the halfway line. They both got it.
And then look at Ronaldo's goals at Inter, bruv, and what he was doing to defenses, terrorizing them. And the same thing at Barcelona as well, bruv. Terrorizing defenders, bruv.
I think. All right, we're never going to see the chip and the volley that he did against Man United. We're never going to see that again. But I think in terms of, obviously, like, you'll never forget the goal. What was it, for Barcelona, where he ran from the halfway line, Ronaldo? I think it was for Barcelona. I know Henry did it to Liverpool. He did it to Spurs. But we're talking about Henry going up against fucking Jamie Carragher and Stephen Huncho and fucking Jonathan Woodgate, brother, and Jamie Redknapp.
Come on, man. We're talking about. Come on, Leslie King was a great defender, fam.
Not then. He wasn't. He built that. He built that because Tottenham needed him so badly. Like, going up against Ronaldo, who's scoring goals against friggin' Nesta, Costa Maldini, flipping. My mind's going blank at the moment, but I think I get what you're saying, Truth, in terms of Henry's got a catalogue of goals.
You're forgetting Henry went up against these man there as well, man. Man did that in the Champions League a lot. Remember against Juve. Against Juve. 3-1 against Juve. This was prime Juve, 2002.
At what age?
Roma.
At what age did Henry do that, bro?
This was 2002. This was in his prime. This was what, 20? Wait, he was 21 in 98. So about 24, 25?
Yeah, 23, 24.
And we're talking about Ronaldo before he was 23, bro. Actually, when he was 19 and 20.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, bro. So there's a difference. This is why we're talking about a kid versus a guy going into his prime.
But that's the thing. Unfortunately, this was Ronaldo's prime because we didn't see what he could have become. So going by what we're going by, this was Ronaldo's prime. So if we're talking about prime, we have to talk about what Ronaldo did in Italy and Barcelona, because this was his prime, unfortunately. We never saw anything above that, unfortunately, because of his injury. So when we're comparing primes, we have to compare Henry at 24 and Ronaldo at 18, 19, 20.
Which is fair. Unfortunate as it is fair purely based on the fact that we didn't get to see Ronaldo in his prime. If you use your brain properly, you can use that argument to your advantage later on.
I'm sure, because the thing is for me is that when Ronaldo, like I said earlier in this segment, when Henry was 21, 19, 20, he was in a France team that was absolutely fucking stacked, bro. He was in a France squad. Yeah, but
to be in that France team, you have to be a special player. Because you're not
Christophe Dugarry in the team. Like, come on, bro.
Come on, these guys were heroes of our time. What are you talking about? Man like Lizarazu and all that. These guys were heroes of our time, man. Come on.
Djorkaeff.
Djorkaeff, come on. These guys were heroes of our time, fam. These are not joke players. I know.
That France team was stacked, but at Monaco and Juventus, Henry was nowhere near as good in that age. And then again, it is one of those things. Players peak at different times.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Players do peak
at different times. But the point I'm trying to make is with Ronaldo, even after those injuries, career-threatening injuries, which I will get into, which is why I think, again, Ronaldo is head and shoulders above Henry, with no disrespect to Henry at all. But those injuries you have to talk about, because even after those injuries,
he was still bang, okay.
He was a fucking gangster, bro, at Real Madrid, killing it. You know, even when he went to, even in the later stages of his career, when he went to AC Milan, his goal per game ratio was still respectable, bro. And this guy was playing barely on one leg, and he had thyroid issues, so he was now known as the Fat Ronaldo. Well, deep into his prime. Not even deep into his prime, deep into his career, past his prime, over the hill. And he's still got a respectable goal per game ratio. And even when he moved back to Brazil, still respectable goal per game ratio. Obviously, a shadow of his former self.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like with what he had, he was still greatness. Like you could still see greatness. He adapted his game to the point where he didn't need to have to use his skills as much and use his pace as much.
His finishing was still dirty.
Pure natural ability to finish the ball, to get him through those later stages in his career. And that's what makes the difference for me. It's like you were talking about adversity earlier when we were speaking about Haaland and Mbappe. It's like, who had more adversity than Ronaldo when doctors told him, fuck football, bruv, you're not even going to walk anymore. Like, we're not sure if you'll walk anymore. And you still come back and win a World Cup in 2002.
That's the thing is, oh, come on, fam. Yeah, the 3 R's. Don't say single-handedly.
Bro, listen, Ronaldo.
Don't say single-handedly 2002, man.
You know what, yeah? I'll give you the fact that Dino and Rivaldo were in the squad, yeah? But the reason why I say
Dino, Rivaldo, Cafu.
Please, two, don't do it. Because
come on, that Brazil team.
Bro, I've got my point to make, yeah? That squad was littered with stars, yeah? But the reason why I say single-handedly is because of this, bro. My man scored in every single game apart from the England game. Every single game at the World Cup. Every single game at the World Cup apart from the quarterfinal. Come on.
Every good striker worth their money in that team would have scored the goal. Look at the final. That beautiful what do you call it? Dummy, I think it was from Rivaldo. That dummy did. Beautiful. And Ronaldo being the predator that he is when he followed up from I forgot who struck it. Was it Rivaldo again? Who struck it and then Khan fumbled it.
I think so.
And then Ronaldo came in, I think of course, I rate, but in that Brazil team, he had enough people to cover his weaknesses. And this is what I'm going to get onto in terms of his injury, which I'm glad you brought it out. That injury showed how great he was because he came back, he adapted his game. That being said, I also feel that it was a double-edged sword because after that injury, he kind of didn't have that same discipline, and he relied on his natural ability more than him using his harshness to strive and achieve more. I think if he was someone that strived and achieved more, he gets back to his level because what never left him was that natural ability. So all he needed was a physical. All he lost was pace.
Bro,
he showed that he was able to carry on. So all he was pace. If he had that drive, and this is what lets me down about Ronaldo, that he got through on his after the injury, he got through on his natural ability alone. And this is what lets me down about him.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now, I was on Transfer Market earlier today looking at injuries, absences, things like that. Like, Henry never had to deal with any of those injuries. Granted, again, it's like, I'm not wishing that Henry blew out his kneecaps. I'm saying that's for me a huge indicator in greatness. The fact that, bro, they're talking about you'll never walk again. You've been out for 2 years. You come back and win a World Cup. And I'll reiterate single-handedly because he scored every goal for that Brazil team, yeah? And he won the Ballon that year. And he won FIFA Golden Boot, whatever the fuck the tournament prize is, whatever that is. Best player of the tournament and all that stuff. And that technically should have been his 3rd Ballon d'Or, bro. Because he should have got one when he was playing at Barca, but they gave it to Mateus Sammer. Who the fuck is that guy, bro?
Who the fuck is that guy?
Who the fuck is that guy, fam? And then the second time he won it was obviously well-deserved at Inter when my boy Alan Shearer came 3rd, yeah? Which is a debatable one, fam. And then he won it again in 2002. Now, as much as Henry is a great player, he doesn't even have 1 Ballon to his name, bro. And we're talking about...
Yeah, but he was robbed for one.
He was definitely robbed.
03-04, he was robbed. They gave it...
If we're talking about robbed, yeah, then Ronaldo was still got 2. Henry is still in the deficit of 2. So Ronaldo still has 3, and Henry is still in the deficit of 2.
The reason why I don't like using Ballon d'Or as a factor when it comes to saying, you're talking about what he won 3 out of his entire career. He had 3 great years where he was the best player in the world. Yeah. It's possible, as you just said, when he lost it controversially to that to that guy. I think would he play for Madrid or Valencia?
I think I can't remember.
That Tooth was talking about. I think it was Madrid or Valencia. Same thing with Henry. You could play amazing, have the best season of your life, but you can still lose to someone that's had a great season in comparison. Like, how could you compare in terms of Ronaldinho? How could you compare Ronaldinho? Because when Ronaldinho won it in 2004, because remember there was 2. There was the European, the one that's the one Shevchenko won, and there was the other one which Ronaldinho won. How could you compare Ronaldinho's entertainment and the way he was playing football to what Henry was doing, going a season unbeaten? And that's when it comes down to preference, and it comes down to individual player preference, and it's a load of politics. And this is why I can't really get drawn on the Ballon d'Or argument when it comes to that.
It does come down to politics, but at the same time, when you're the overwhelming player, you tend to get it. As I said, the 2 that Ronaldo,
it's like the NBA MVP.
The 2 that Ronaldo got, no one can dispute it. No one can dispute it. Yeah, whereas I understand that Henry was robbed, because I think he scored 33 goals that season. Mm-hmm. And obviously you went unbeaten, and he lost it to Shevchenko, who, if anything, should have won it before.
Scored 26 or something.
Yeah, but he should have won it before, because I think that's when they actually won the Champions League.
Exactly.
That year was when Porto won it, so it didn't really make any sense. But I think we were transitioning from the Premier League still not being taken seriously, and Serie A still being that number 1 league in Europe sides. Tooth, what are you saying?
Truth said at the beginning, we're only going to talk about things that happen. And like you said, TJ, like regardless, those 2 years, undisputed, unquestionable that Ronaldo was the greatest player on the planet, on the face of the planet. There's never been a season where Henry has been, like, maybe in certain people's opinion, he might have been better than Shevchenko. Personally, in my opinion, I understand why they gave it to Sheva, but for me, it was clear cut. Henry should have won it. Do you know what I mean? It's the same way when I say Ronaldo should have won his first Ballon d'Or at the age of 20 when he was at Barca, but they gave it to that fucking German. So, do you know what I mean, bro? So
it's a mad one. I understand both.
Bearing in mind, Ronaldo was still the youngest ever Ballon winner as well, bro, at the age of 21.
For me, when it comes to it's like the NBA MVP award. There's loads of occasions where LeBron, we said LeBron should have won more MVP awards. Jordan should have definitely won more MVP awards, but he wasn't given it. But what it doesn't do, it doesn't take away. No one's ever gonna call Magic better than Jordan. You get me? Just based on MVP awards, or Larry Bird better than Jordan, just based on MVP. I think it's a small factor in terms. If it was based on a longer period of time, let's say you were great for 3 to 5 years, and it was done like that, then yes, you would have some water. But because it's done yearly and because it's done so politically, I can't regard it in an argument of who was a better striker. I just can't put it in there.
Which is fair enough. I think most people will still accept Ronaldo still want to, and it adds to the argument. But I can understand why you wouldn't want to use it. I want to move on, because I want to move on to the main reason why you are a striker is to score goals. And I've got the stats here.
Primary reason.
Got the stat here, so people bear with me. R9, 296 goals in 452 games. That's at club level.
Is that all over?
Yeah, for all of them, 296 and 400.
As in including international, or just
no,
club
that's just club. It's just club.
Oh, okay.
Can I just add that Ronaldo did score over 200 goals, like I said in the last video, before the age of 20. By 23. He scored over 200 goals, bro. Wrap your head around that, bro.
104 goals in 177 games for Real Madrid, 59 in 99 for Inter. For PSV, 54 in 57. For Barca, it was 47 in 49.
Which
And
is
even
probably
that,
his greatest achievement.
even at AC, bruv, he got 9 in 20 games. And he was fat then. For Henry, it's 360 goals in 791 games, but with 175 assists, 228 goals and 104 assists for Arsenal, still holding the record for most assists in a Premier League season. 28 and 139 for Monaco, 3 and 20 for Juventus, 49 in 121 for Barca with 27 assists. And I don't know why I'm reading this one out, but I will. 52 goals and 42 assists in 135 games for New York Red
MLS.
Bulls.
The great American League. You should win it just because of that, mate.
Both guys had great goal scoring records for different clubs. But when we put that all together and analyze respectively what's happened here, truth for you, how do you argue that Henry even competes with Ronaldo in terms of goal scoring?
What did LeBron say about one of the greatest achievements, what you can do in a team sport? Being available for your team. Okay, that stands, being available when you're the best player. As I said, it's unfortunate that Ronaldo had a knee injury, but LeBron said being available for a team is one of his greatest achievements, because when you're the best player helping your team to win, okay, you are providing something in a team sport. At the end of the day, it isn't an individual sport. And this is why I think Henry, for me, provided a lot more. Those assists, and you have to remember, at the start of his career, he started as a wide player. Even at Arsenal, he used to drift out wide, and that used to get the rest of his team involved in scoring goals. That's why he has a ridiculous assist record. 20 assists for a striker. That is unheard of. It's actually unheard. Well, yeah, this is unheard of, because when you think about Messi, Messi is not your typical striker either. You know, he provides loads of assists because of what he does. That attribute right there is, for me, what puts it above Ronaldo, because assists are not just nothing. Assist is not, I know people don't take it into regard, but assist, that means someone scored the goal, whether it's from your great set piece delivery, or whether it's from you having the vision to find somebody with a pass. A pass is, in this day and age right now, English players are crap at passing. You know, English players wish they could have a player that had the vision and the link-up play as Thierry Henry. You know, he's very unselfish, and I just think this is what the modern day football became. You have to do more than score goals. Right now, you only look at what Lewandowski and, to an extent, Haaland as only thoroughbred scorers. Maybe put Aguero into there. Aguero, you could put into there, maybe. Okay.
Why would you use that? Why would you, if you have Ronaldo, why would you use him in your team to get assists? Why?
Depends what your team wants.
Well, all of his teams didn't need that. None of the teams he played for needed him to provide assists.
But it didn't. But what did it take away?
The fact that he doesn't need to assist, he was there to score goals, which he did consistently throughout his career with fucking.
It's a team game, though. It's a team game.
Yeah, and he played his role in the team.
And exactly, some people's role might be to assist and score. We're talking about Henry, who was prolific himself. You're acting like he wasn't prolific.
But that's why I can't bring the assist argument. I can't accept the assist argument.
Why not?
Because he didn't need, like Henry didn't. Ronaldo didn't need to assist. He didn't need to. He completed his role in the team.
Was to score goals, which he did.
And he did. prolific.
But
Henry
Henry scored goals and made goals.
Yeah, but
what is wrong with scoring and making goals?
But that was his role in his team. His role in his team was to provide assists and provide goals. Because every team Ronaldo played at, as we said earlier, he was the focal point. He was the number 9.
Yeah.
Number 9 is not meant to be assisting. All right, it will be good if they can, but who needs assists when you're banging in goals literally every game? Sometimes more goals in a game than the game in the ratio that you're playing in regards to the games. Like,
so don't you think it helps to have that factor?
Absolutely not, bruv. Absolutely not. If you're a bruv. If you're a God-gifted striker where you can put that ball in the back of the net wherever you are on the pitch, whether it be free kicks like Ronaldo showed on his debut for Inter, yeah, whether it be penalties which Ronaldo always banged in, whether it be heading the ball, whether it be shooting from outside the box, scoring a sitter, whether it be dribbling around the whole team, picking up the ball from the halfway line, he was just able to find the back of the net. Henry played for an Arsenal team where they had Dennis Bergkamp as a striker as well. They had fucking, what's my man's name? The Togo dude.
Adebayo.
Bruv, he played in an Arsenal team where they had other strikers where they could put him out wide. They could put him on the left. They could put him on the right. They could sit him behind a striker. You know, they had Van Persie at the team. They had bare strikers at the team. You know, who was the other striker in the Invincible season? I forgot his name now.
Wiltord?
Bergkamp.
Yeah, Wiltord and Bergkamp. Do you know what I mean? All three of them could either play, all three of them could either play a main striker or a supporting striker role. That was just the way the team was.
But as I said, this is my biggest reason why I do put Henry on top of Ronaldo. I want to hear TJ when it comes to in regards to assists. What do you think? And for me, being able to see the game with that vision adds a different dynamic to your game, because not all the time are you gonna, you might come against a strategy where they lock you down. It's possible they could lock you down. I know it didn't happen much at that time in his career, but the more and more people watch you, the more they analyze your game, people start to learn to lock you down. So when you do get locked down in that way, your assist or seeing the game from an angle becomes a new factor and a new weapon for you to use and abuse. So I would just want to hear TJ in regards to his thoughts about assist and the overall game, the overall package.
I think you can't discredit the assist factor of what Henry did. I think you got to take into context the times that these guys were playing. I think they were both playing in a time in which if you were a striker, your role was there to score goals. Henry was an enigma, and he kind of changed the way that football went in terms of the fact that he changed the fact that strikers weren't just there to score goals. They were there to assist as well. And him having that vision and creativity to get the amount of assists that he did was great. And it made the modern day footballer that we have now know that there's more to it than just standing in the box and trying to score goals. So in that regard, I don't think you can just dismiss the assist. At the same time, as Tooth said, Ronaldo was there for one reason and one reason only, and that was to score goals. Everyone else's role was to facilitate and assist him. And Truth, you said about obviously when players watch tapes, teams watch tapes, eventually they'll lock you down. I think that was a great thing about Ronaldo. He never did. No matter what it was, they just couldn't stop him from doing what he was doing. So he didn't really have to adapt his game so that he had to assist and facilitate people, because they just couldn't stop him because he was that good of what he was doing. So in one regard, I can say that I understand why you put Henry above Ronaldo, because he did more and he was available more. So I get that. And that's when the whole longevity aspect comes into it. And it's a case of your best player's there and he's not going to go missing, because if he's not scoring, he's assisting. But at the same time, Ronaldo's whole mantra was, well, I'm the best. No one can really stop me. So I'm going to carry on doing what I'm doing. And I think that's what makes both of these players great at what they do, because they were different. Henry was, I'm going to score, and I'm going to score, and if I don't score, I'm going to assist. Whereas Ronaldo was like, I've got that much confidence in my ability, knowing that regardless of what happens, no one is going to stop me from scoring goals. And that's why his goal record is so great. But at the same time, it's why Henry's is so great as well. So I think when it comes to the whole goal scoring and facilitating aspect, I think both players are great in their own right. And I wouldn't edge it either way. But I understand both arguments from the both of you. I know it's a little bit of sitting on the fence, but after hearing because after hearing both of your arguments, I can hear it from both sides. And I genuinely cannot pick between the two because of how great they were at what they did. I think some people will go lean towards Henry because of the fact that, he's got goals and assists. So, oh my days. But then you got to take into consideration how many games he played. We got to factor that in as well compared to Ronaldo. We don't know how many. And Ronaldo got 77 assists. So it's not like he was always standing up front and not doing anything. So I get both your arguments, but unfortunately I can't give you a definitive answer on what you lot want. But I love the way that you lot have both articulated the argument for this. And this is one of the moments, educating the kids. This is one of the moments, people, where sometimes you just have to agree to disagree and you can move on. You don't have to throw your toys out the pram. You don't have to say, well, you don't know nothing about football and blah, blah, blah. Both guys have articulated their argument well. And it's just one of them ones where I've heard it and I'm just like, you know what? In the beginning, I would have went with Ronaldo, but the way how the truth is articulated his argument, I can understand it from both sides. So credit to the both of you for talking about the goal scoring. We got 5 minutes. We got 5 minutes. See, people. So I just want to go through quickly before I let you guys do your closing arguments. What they've won, what they've won throughout their career. So R9, 2-time Ballon d'Or winner, top scorer twice in La Liga and in 2002 World Cup, 2-time World Cup winner, 2-time Copa America winner, 2-time La Liga champion in 02-03 and 06-07, won the Spanish Cup with Barcelona, won the Dutch Cup with PSV.
Dutch Cup or Dutch League?
Barcelona.
No, it was a cup. He didn't win the league.
Oh, he didn't? Whoa.
He didn't win the league with PSV.
And this is one weird thing about, and this is just sorry thinking of, one weird thing about Ronaldo. For some reason, he didn't win as much league titles as you thought he would have.
No, it's true.
Considering his goals, like it's
he only
crazy.
He only won 2 league titles, and that was with Madrid.
The amount of years that he lost to his career through the injury. If he was
I'm saying in his great years, like for Barcelona, scoring 40-something goals in a good Barcelona team.
He only won the Spanish Cup that season.
Crazy.
He won the UEFA Cup as well.
Oh, you won the UEFA Cup as well.
I hadn't finished yet.
Yeah,
but and he won the UEFA Cup with Inter Milan. In comparison to Henry, he 1 World Cup, 1 Euros, 2 Premier League titles, including the unbeaten season in 03-04, Champions League with Barcelona, the trophy that eluded him at Arsenal, 3-time FA Cup, 2-time La Liga, 1 Spanish Cup, did the treble with Barcelona in 08-09, and he actually won the French title with Monaco as well.
21.
Yeah, so all them arguments together on what they won. Tell me why Ronaldo's better.
Easily, any day of the week, twice on a Sunday. Ronaldo all day. If it wasn't for his injuries, we'd be talking about the GOAT of football. Just imagine that Ronaldo that was at PSV and Barcelona continuing his career without any knee injuries, without any hyperthyroidism, without any of that.
I agree.
But in the years that he was there and he did play, why doesn't he have more league titles? Why doesn't he have a league title with Inter? Why doesn't he have a league title with Barcelona? Why didn't he win the Dutch league with PSV? Like, why hasn't he got more league titles to his name?
Injuries, as I said, injuries. His first operation, the first time he was cut open was a botched surgery at the age of 18. At the age of 18. So you could almost write off his career
Listen,
from that point on.
no. He
Hold
played
on.
enough games and scored enough.
Yeah,
and
but
scored more than enough goals.
But I'm saying with one leg, bruv. You take away one of Henri's legs, I'd love to see how many honours he'll get.
I know, but we're asking why he didn't win enough league titles. I got the reason why to that.
Go on.
Because there's more to football than just scoring goals. It's a team game. You could score. Liverpool lost the league scoring 100. How much goal was it in 2014? They scored over 100 goals in 2014.
Listen.
Okay, over 100 goals. They lost the league. Okay, there's more to football than just scoring goals. And this is the one thing. I think Ronaldo is a great individual player. Great individual. Great scoring.
At that time, yeah, they put a lot of pressure on my man. Yeah, and you might be right here.
He was El Phenomena, of course.
Yeah, and at a very young age, and maybe the team that was built up around him wasn't as good, and you could say that.
No, there were good teams around him. There were good teams around him.
At Madrid, there were great players around him, and it's a shame that he didn't manage to win the Champions League because in the first leg against the, you remember that year when Juventus and AC.
I swear he was injured for the second leg against Juve.
He was injured for the second leg, exactly. Yeah. And he had completely dominated Juventus in the first leg and scored a goal in that game, which they won 2-1. And then they completely fell apart.
Yeah, they were. If he would have played, they would have went through.
And now we're talking about a team in Real Madrid, which was the Galacticos team. Am I right or wrong? Which had the Figos, which had the Carloses, which had exactly the Zidans and the Gutis and the Rauls, and they still couldn't get past Juventus despite going into that game with an aggregate lead. And winning it. It was all like, this is what I mean. He was just a cut above everyone else, man. But I respect, listen, I love Henri. Henri was one of my favourite players growing up and watching him. I still remember what he done for Inter Milan, you know, in that year in the Champions League.
Yeah.
To the San Siro.
It's not just Inter.
Real Madrid as well.
Even Real Madrid.
Remember the Juve performance, the Roma performance where he scored a hat-trick away. Going away at Roma them times was no simple feat.
Ronaldo had that as well. Away at Old Trafford. The hat-trick away at Old Trafford as well. So, yeah, of course.
But that's what I mean. For me personally, it's always going to go.
So you're going to have your closing argument. I just want to ask truth one question because we can question why Ronaldo didn't win as many league titles with his various clubs. But why is it that Henri, as much as he, which is interesting stat, I said that he scored 51 goals in 123 games for France, and yet no one remembers him on the international stage. Why is it in all the great French teams that he was in, why is it that he's only got 1 World Cup and 1 Euros to his name?
Again, this is the reason why football is a team game. Henri was someone that didn't have the headlines on him. Remember, Trezeguet was a great striker back then.
Oh yeah,
he was a great striker back there. So, and Henri was happy to share the spotlight. Well, actually, no, they weren't happy in 2002.
No, they weren't.
Remember, they weren't happy in 2002.
2002 was a shambles, mate.
But come 2006, he was happy to share the limelight, and it was that idiot Trezeguet that missed the. Remember, Henri would have 2 World Cups if it wasn't for flipping David Trezeguet. missing that penalty. So as I said, I will always prefer, me personally as a coach, I would always prefer the player, the team over the individual all day. I will have a player that is unselfish as opposed to an R9. No matter how much I love R9, and he was the reason that I started loving football, not just liking it, loving football because of his skills. I will always, just the way I am as a coach, I prefer the collective rather than the individual any day of the week. Give me a striker that scores and assists, and you're my guy. I could do way more with that striker than I can with a person that's saying, go on the end of this and finish.
But for France, the only reason why his career is not remembered is we all know why. Come on.
Well, they called it they called it the new hand of God, didn't they?
That's it.
They called it the new hand of God.
Hey, Ronaldo never cheated in his career. That's all I'm saying.
And we're gonna wrap it up there, people, right there, because we have run out of time. We've gone for nearly an hour, and we didn't even touch on so much that we didn't touch on because, as I said, there's so much football knowledge here, people.
There
So
is.
much football knowledge, and this is the thing: is it being able to articulate it. When you start to articulate and critique things, it does take time. You can't just be throwing out quotes and random things and just saying, oh, because he is, and oh, because look at this and look at this, and not explain yourself. You have to articulate it. And when you're having a formulated debate, this is what happens. When you're trying to stay out of pen and your lawyer's trying to get you out, they have to formulate and articulate, and it takes time. And unfortunately, we've just run out of time. I've loved it. So I've enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, man.
People in the off seasons, we're going to be doing so much more of these. We got so much, not just football. We're going to be having UFC. We're going to be having boxing. We got all sorts coming up in terms. But I've enjoyed it. It's been time off from the Premier League season. So to wrap up, people, let us know what you think in the comments. The real Ronaldo R9 or Henry? Both guys are giving you their arguments, articulated very well. Loves a lot of the points that were brought up. And I want to know what you lot think in the comments. Put it in there. Let us know. Do you agree with the truth? Do you agree with Tooth? Is Henry better because he's the team player, or do you want that selfish guy that's going to go and score all the goals? Is Henry got the better technical ability, or is it R9? Are the injuries
I don't want to see no more Blue Avenger comments, all right? No, whatever that dude is, stop commenting on the video.
People that don't know, Tooth has got some guy, Blue Avenger, bro, that just doesn't like him.
Keep on commenting, man. Like I know you're my guy.
But that's it. That's it from us, people. As usual, before we go, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, and just put what your thoughts in there and let us know. Want to say thank you so much to my guys, Tooth and the Truth, for the double header. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Peace, man. It's been a pleasure.
People, got NBA coming up for you. That should be out over the weekend. We got the review of UFC 260 and White versus Povetkin 2. That'll be coming out for you next week. Then back next week, Thursday, it will be another review. It will be back to the review/preview show as we look ahead to the fixtures for the Easter weekend. So plenty more content coming out for you. Maybe we need another international break so we can get these in. Oh, and one more thing, people, in the next couple of weeks, I will be re-editing and putting out the WWE before WrestleMania as well. We thoroughly enjoyed that one, and I think it's a criminal that we did.
I want to run back on that, man. I want to run back on that.
Two said that as well, you know.
Let's run it back.
Two said that
Let's run it back.
Let's run it back.
Let's run it back.
All right, people.
That one's going to be heated. Now I know what Two, because that one's going to be heated. I'm coming for you, fam.
Run it back. Hey, Truth, this is the first time me and you are agreeing all night, bro.
See, people, so we're going to run that one back for you as well. But stay safe, people. Keep your family safe. Don't forget, clocks are going back this weekend. So on Sunday, you're going to lose that hour's sleep. But keep your family safe, and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.
Peace.